Mark is 25. He is sitting in a Wendy's parking lot on a Wednesday afternoon, Frosty in one hand, phone in the other. He has $42,000 a year, student loans that follow him everywhere, and a banking app he checks before every purchase over $40 because that is apparently what being an adult feels like. He is not broke. He is not rich. He is exactly average, which is its own kind of invisible problem. He opens a brokerage account. It takes 11 minutes. He sets up a $100 automatic transfer for the day after payday. He does not tell anyone. He does not celebrate. He just closes the app and finishes the Frosty. That is the whole moment. That is the entire decision. And 40 years later, that Wednesday afternoon in a parking lot is the reason everything looks different. Two people, same salary, same rent, same student loans, same city, same Monday morning feeling where you open your banking app before buying coffee just to make sure the coffee is still an option. 40 years later, one of them wakes up with choices. The other wakes up with math, the bad kind. The kind where you sit at a kitchen table on a Tuesday night, open your retirement account, and realize the number is not going to be enough. Same income their entire lives. No inheritance. No lucky stock pick. No side hustle that went viral. The only difference was $100 a month and one decision about who gets paid first. That is what this video is actually about. Not the $100. The decision behind it. Here is what nobody tells you about $100 a month. The world is not designed to make it feel powerful. It is designed to make it feel disposable. 2 takeout orders. 1 phone bill. 3 subscriptions you forgot were still running. A grocery trip where the spinach rots before you use it. Your brain has been trained since birth to see $100 as something that disappears, not something that builds. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Every company you pay monthly already knows what you have not figured out yet. Streaming platforms know it. Insurance companies know it. Your gym knows it, especially the gym, because they're still collecting $40 a month from you, and you have not been there since February. Small amounts repeated long enough become enormous. They built entire business models on that fact. The question is whether you ever point that same machine at yourself. Because right now, everyone is compounding against you. Rent increases compound. Subscriptions compound. Insurance premiums compound. Credit card balances compound. Lifestyle creep compounds. Your phone bill gets more loyalty than your future does. And most people are not bad with money because they make reckless decisions every day. They are bad with money because they automated everyone else's income before they automated their own. That is the trap. And $100 a month is the exit. So let's look at the math, because the first number is going to disappoint you, the second is going to bother you, and the third one explains why most people never start. You invest $100 every month into a broad market index fund. No stock picking. No timing the market. No listening to someone online who uses the word generational about an asset that is down 60% since they said it. Just a simple, boring fund that tracks the market. The S&P 500 has returned roughly 10% annualized over the long run before inflation. Real inflation-adjusted returns are closer to 7%. For this example, use 8%, conservative enough to be credible, strong enough to show what time actually does. After 10 years, you have about $18,000. You contributed $12,000. The rest came from growth. Is that life-changing? No. Is it dramatic? No. But it is proof. It is the first visible evidence that money is no longer just leaving your life. Some of it is staying. Some of it is growing. And quietly, without asking your permission, it is starting to change the direction. The version of you that waited does not lose $18,000 in one day. That version loses it by protecting a feeling. The feeling that starting soon is the same as starting now. That version tells itself. After the next raise, after the car gets paid off, after rent stabilizes, after the economy looks safer, after I understand investing better. Waiting feels responsible because it lets you avoid evidence. But the account does not record intentions. It records deposits. The explanation does not compound. After 20 years, you have about $58,900. You contributed $24,000. The other $34,900 came from growth, from money your paycheck did not personally earn. After 30 years, the account reaches $149,000. You contributed $36,000. Over $113,000 came from time, not from clocking in, answering emails, or sitting through a meeting that could have been one paragraph. After 40 years at 8%, you have $350,000. Total contribution, $48,000. The rest came from not interrupting the machine. At the S&P 500's long-run average of 10%, that same $100 a month reaches $632,000. You put in $48,000. Time did the other $584,000. That is why people emotionally reject compounding. It makes the beginning look too small for the ending. $100 feels like nothing when you spend it, annoying when you save it, and almost fake when you compound it. But the market does not reward intensity. It rewards duration. It does not care that you plan to invest more later. It does not care that life was expensive, because life is always expensive. The account does not need you to believe in it. It needs you to stop interrupting it. And then, somewhere around year 9, something happens that nobody claps for. You are still putting in $1,200 that year. Same $100 every month, same boring transfer, same account you barely think about. But in a normal growth year, the portfolio earns more than $1,200 on its own. For the first time, your money does more work than you do. This is the first year your money shows up to work without you. No alarm, no notification, no moment you can point to, just a quiet line crossed in the background of your normal life. Before that point, you're carrying the account. After that point, the account starts carrying part of itself. That is the crossover. That is the hidden turning point that no financial app sends you a notification about. That is when $100 stops feeling like a deposit and starts acting like a machine. And then it keeps going. By year 15, the account earns roughly twice your annual contribution. You put in $1,200. The market adds somewhere around $2,500 on top. You are no longer the main engine. You're the person who occasionally refuels something that mostly runs on its own. By year 20, the gap widens further. The account earns 4 to 5 times what you contribute that year. By year 30, it earns closer to 10 times. The math does not accelerate slowly. It accelerates exponentially, which is just a less boring way of saying this gets unreasonable very fast. And the version of you that interrupted it at year 7 because the market dropped 18% never sees year 15, never sees year 20, never gets to the part where the machine starts doing the heavy lifting. That version stepped off the hill right before the snowball started to roll. The version of you that never started does not miss that moment because of bad luck. That version misses it because of a specific feeling, the feeling that starting small is embarrassing. Waiting protects your ego. Starting exposes your actual behavior. It feels better to be the person who is about to invest $10,000 than the person actually investing $100. One of those people sounds serious. The other one gets paid by time. That is the identity trap hidden inside the math. A $100 investment is not just a financial decision. It is evidence. It proves whether you are the kind of person who needs the first step to look impressive or the kind of person who lets boring actions become powerful later. And that distinction, that single internal decision, is what separates the person on the porch from the person still doing the math at the kitchen table. Now look at the world you are actually investing in. Vanguard's data shows a median defined contribution account balance of around $38,000. That is the middle of the entire data set. Half of all working Americans with a retirement account have less than that. If you invest $100 a month at 8%, you pass $38,000 in roughly 16 years. A habit smaller than most phone bills, repeated long enough, beats the median retirement balance in one of the largest data sets in the country. You're not competing with wealthy people. You're competing with delay. And delay is losing. And yes, the market will crash. Not maybe. It will. It always has. The question is not whether you can handle losing money on paper. The question is whether you are patient enough to watch it come back. Most people are brave enough to hold through the fall. They are not patient enough to stay through the recovery. Selling during fear feels like control, but it is usually just locking the door after leaving the money outside. The market does not punish fear immediately. It punishes interruption. And the best days in the market cluster within 2 weeks of the worst days. Which means every time you exit during panic, you're statistically the person who turns off the oven right before the food is done. You do not need to predict the market. You need to stop making every month a new decision. So here's what this actually requires. Not discipline, not motivation, not a perfect plan or a financial advisor or a spreadsheet that took you 4 hours to build and that you will never open again. It requires removing yourself from the decision. Set the transfer for the day after payday, before your brain starts acting like a defense attorney for every purchase. Because your brain will call a $14 smoothie health. It will call a new jacket professional development. It will call canceling one subscription basically a retirement plan. Do not give your brain the meeting. The auto-pay system already trained you. You just pointed it at everyone except yourself. If your employer offers a match, start there. That is an instant return no market can beat. If you qualify for a Roth IRA, use it. Tax-free growth for decades is not a minor detail. If high-interest credit card debt is running at 20% or more, attack that first, because no index fund beats the interest you're paying on your past decisions. Pick one broad, low-cost fund. Automate the transfer. Stop checking it every time the market moves, because the strategy is not active. The strategy is to be a sleeping investor for as long as possible. Doing nothing is the entire plan. $100 a month will not impress anyone today. It is not supposed to. It was never designed to impress the present version of you. It was designed to protect the future version, the one who runs out of time, the one whose body gets tired, the one who wants one morning where the first thought is not about money. 40 years from now, the difference will not feel like $100. It will feel like one version of you sitting at a kitchen table, running retirement math too late, and another version waking up with options, not because they earned more, not because they got lucky, but because they made one boring automatic decision and never interrupted it. Same income, same life, same bills, same temptations, different transfer, different crossover, different morning. That is what $100 was the whole time. Not spare money, not a small habit. A vote, repeated long enough to become a different life.